Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Bricker Boom. So, this is just a quick little update on things. The video that you're probably going to be getting for a week or two, just kind of depending on how much we break it up. I think it was only 2 hours, so probably just a week. Um, will be me, Ronifero, Soaptopus, and the baby rhino. Links will be down below. Talking about D&D. I started a podcast kind of style thing where me and some friends can talk about common pitfalls, things that we've seen, things that we've done, just to have a little bit of fun with it. So, I hope you enjoy. This will be the first of many. We'll be coming back in March. Depending on when this goes up, it may be up before then, it may be up after. I don't know the dates yet, just because we are still running through our regular video game rotation. But that'll be up. Ronifero and I are going to be doing a 12-hour charity stream with D&D info. A lot of D&D stuff is going to be coming down the pipes, just to be able to branch out from just the playthroughs. Tishy will be part of it. More Tish Noir, I should say. But yeah, just hope you enjoy it. I hope you all enjoy D&D, and if there's anything that you want to see us cover in the future, because like I said, this will be the first of many, just let us know. So, enjoy. I want to ask then, how do you feel about being the DM, rolling your death saving throws and not confirming or denying what it is? Because I think it adds a layer of basically fear and adrenaline to the campaign that is wonderful.
That's where one of my player deaths came from. We're rolling. I'm rolling secret death saves. My first one was a nat 1, so that's 2 fails.
Oof.
And then the second one, I'm like, bye.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Bye, Felicia.
You're dead. Like, enjoy
Actually,
the afterlife.
We had that on the Sunday campaign when we finally finished off. We were level 10. We had to fight a demigod, which I know scaling, but it's this guy's first time. He did a great job with the campaign. And honestly, he did a really good job scaling that fight, too. She wasn't exactly the power of a demigod, but still was really tough to fight. She ended up killing one of us. And my character had only one crystal for Revivify. I thought I got to him, but apparently he died just the round before. And it was just about to expire for the Revivify as well. So it was close.
Oh, yeah.
But he hit it from us, and it made that moment a lot more impactful. Like, oh god,
Yeah.
healing word, did that work? Nope. Continue fighting, please. Shit.
This was a question that we had in chat that I'm kind of curious about. Actually, real quick, sorry. Rhino, you didn't answer how you feel about it.
You know what? I had a moment, one of those dumb moments again, where I just one of my DMs actually wants they let us roll, but it's secret to the DM themselves. No one else knows how your death saves are going.
The only issue with that is that I feel like, and again, it depends. Some people have a really good poker face. Some do not. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you get a fail, it's gonna show on your face. I can typically go ahead and like hide it. Now, there was one time that broke me, and that's because I rolled 3 nat 20s against the paladin, who up until that moment had been unkillable, and I was laughing and crying too hard to be able to articulate decent thoughts. But I feel like player expression would immediately give away if they got good or bad.
Roll20 facilitates it. Like, you can private roll to the DM. I know Renifera looked like he was saying how.
Oh no, the DM rolling it in secret and not knowing.
I think he meant that the DM and the player are the only two that know.
I would roll, the DM would see what I got for a roll, and I would see what I got for a roll as well.
Okay, I thought you meant like they straight up nobody knew. I was like, how the fuck do you do that? And I was thinking like you get a dice tower and it like has like it's like closed, but you can like open it up and see the dice in there. That'd
be actually really cool.
That would actually, yeah, I like that a lot.
I like that one a lot.
Even the DM can't tell.
Yeah.
Because bad poker face, let's be honest, one of my characters just hit 69 health, and I was like,
and that's the thing.
I literally gave them information that they should not have known.
Because of that, when a hit happens, I either make them land at 70 or 68 because I will laugh as well. I can't. It's reflex at this point because we've done it so many times.
Nice.
But the question that we got in the chat, and I'm sorry for taking so long to get to this one, but what is the funnest description for a kill a player has ever given to you? Or that you've, I guess, heard, depending on things. For me, it was Lady Bricker casting Shatter, but this was her first, how do you want to do this? And she goes, I kill it with the spell. And I'm like, you're doing great, Lady Bricker. And then I describe the rest of it.
Actually, what sometimes turns out to be, it's like, this is what I want to do. I just say my character just runs up and just starts, like, just over the head chopping the thing in pieces, and the DM will just explain
Because
it. A little further
sometimes that's all you can do.
Yeah. It's like, how do you want to kill it? You mean I killed it?
My favorite that I had was probably the first time Tim will ever use the pistol that the rogue gave him. Is like, he's out of spells. There's this caster that's trying to cast a spell, and Tim's like, dude, I'm sick of this guy's shit. Fuck it. Grabs a pistol, aims at him, crit on a cannonball that did like, what, 8d6 or something stupid like that?
Yeah, and the caster had not even a baker's dozen worth of HP left. He had like 10 hit points left, and Timmel hits this guy with a cannonball for, I want to say, around 50 points of damage.
Oh,
Like,
no, dude, it was in the hundreds. It was at least.
Oh, that's right,
150.
because it was a crit. So yeah, you straight up eviscerated this guy.
Yeah, like this guy had a head, and then he did not.
He didn't have much of a body by the time that attack was finished.
I believe that is just called overkill.
And if
Yeah.
I remember right, Timmelt's line at that point was, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!"
That's exactly what he said.
I like
That's
that,
great.
though.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh,
My favorite one that I've gotten from a player was the dwarf player. Again, he's fighting a Goliath, the large human-shaped human. So he has extra attacks. They're 5th level or something. I tell him that he kills him with the first hit, and I ask him, how do you want to do this? Because it's the last enemy. He's like, I want to smash his foot. And as he bends down, I want to grab him by the beard and bring him to my level and then smash him in the head with my extra attack.
I love that.
I love that.
It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Yeah, when I want to say, Brian, was it you that mentioned somebody stabbing in the back of the knee? To bring him
That's what
down?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Stab him in the back knee to bring
That
him
was
down. And
that was the first thing I thought of. I'm like, man, my dwarf player did something pretty similar.
Although you got to bring them down to your level when you're
Yeah.
a shorter character, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want them to be the you want the last thing they see is you.
Of course, of course.
I think for a player, my favorite one, this was in a campaign that didn't unfortunately go very far, but I managed to kill somebody with vicious mockery, and they asked, how do you want to do this? And I look at the enemy who has been giving us a hard time, I go, you smell funny, and they just fucking die. And I felt like the all-powerful god in that moment.
So quick question on, since we're on the topic of vicious mockery, how opposed would you guys be to turning it to fire damage and then calling it sick burn?
I love that personally.
I love that idea.
I am very pro. You can modify a spell to change it to sick burn, or if you're playing a cold-based sorcerer, like I don't care. Yeah, your fireball's cold. You're
Yeah,
throwing a big ice ball.
because
I agree with
might,
that.
it,
might mess with balance.
well,
a little bit.
and that's the thing that I would say. You can't willy-nilly change it kind of thing. Like, if you choose this, it has to be that, because if I throw an enemy at
Oh,
you
yeah,
that is
yeah.
resistant or weak to fire, you can't be like, well, fireball is tech that. Nah, bitch, you decided you wanted
Yeah.
that to be ice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you
Yeah, once you make
the
that choice.
sorcerer has the meta magic to change it, but
Yes.
if you want
Right.
to make a permanent change, you can do that.
Now I really want to play my bard and do some sick burns on
I have a question for how do you guys flavor a bad guy getting hit by psychic damage?
I usually, depending on how severe it is, if it's just like a couple points kind of thing, it's more of you can kind of see them win, so you see it in the facial structures. But if they get hit with like 10 or more damage, at that point, I'm like, you see them wince, and when they open their eyes are now bloodshot. You can see trickles of blood beginning to come out the eyes, maybe a little bit out the ear kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I always
pretty much
see it
agree
like
with
it's like a bad migraine, bad headache. You start clutching your head when
Yeah.
you get hit hard with psychic damage.
Mhm.
Never thought about
Yeah.
blood out of the eyes. That's clever.
Yeah, what I'll usually do is very similar, like, they're clutching their temples, you got that, and then you got like purple like lines of lightning coming from their eyes where clearly something's been infecting them.
I like that
yeah,
too.
okay.
Magic,
That's
magic
really
That's a good one.
for me almost always has something to do with the eyes when they're being dominated. Their eyes are completely pitch black, something that
Yeah.
gives you a tell.
Yeah,
Um,
I like that.
I wanted to ask you, Runifro, because you said that you had some strong feelings about this one. We were talking about charisma-based characters, for example. I will say just give me a general idea if you're not comfortable with it. What's your thought on that? Because you seem to disagree very strongly.
No. I actually agree with you very strongly. D&D is a game that we're not supposed to be ourselves. Some people have speech impediments. Some people speak different language. They have an accent, different things like that. You can't expect people to be charismatic. It's fun to do that. If you are charismatic and you want to talk like your character, feel free to do that. Absolutely. But if you just say, "Hey, my character wants to try to convince the king to give us this job instead," and then I think if you got to talk with a player, if they're not comfortable trying to role play that out, just let them roll the dice at that point. I
Yeah.
mean, this is
Mhm.
their character.
I
That's just the way I feel.
I
Asked
agree.
a couple of points. I was like, what might you bring up during your persuasion here? Like,
Sure.
yeah, you don't have to
Yeah,
articulate it.
but give me an
Uh,
idea of what you want. Like,
Right. That way it can set the DC,
yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
again, it's a game, and my thing is specifically, I'm like, I want to play a character that I can't be IRL. If I want to win an arm wrestling contest, by God, for once I have a fucking chance because the dice may not screw me over.
I struggle playing at characters with higher intelligence for the same charisma reason.
There's a reason that
Same, fam.
Cass's intelligence is a little bit on the low side, but his charisma is spot on.
Yeah.
Same, fam. That's why I prefer sorcerer over wizard every day.
Yeah.
That also just becomes a wisdom versus intelligence thing too. I can play a wisdom character.
Yes.
I'm a dumbass.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't calculate circumference of a fucking globe.
Oh,
I'm
I
sorry, I
said
can't do
human
it.
shaped earlier.
No, my barbarian in the Sunday campaign has an 8 intelligence, and I love playing down my intelligence. It's so much fun to do that.
God.
Yeah, because, and that's the thing I will say as well, guys, do not be afraid to get into your character. One of the people that we have, he played a rogue last time and a wizard. This time he's playing a bugbear barbarian with a speech impediment that basically speaks broken common. However, if you speak to him in his native tongue, it immediately goes from me small brain to, why yes, my good fellow, I appreciate you asking how my day is going, and salutations. Have fun
I
with
actually
it.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. It also reminds me too. My friend, remember I was playing the 2 barbarians. My friend who was playing the full orc had an int of 6, and she was playing it out really well because my character was friends with her character. I was the one trying to teach her. It's like, okay, where you have to sign this contract. You sign your name here. Puts out a line. Good enough, sir. You did it. Or, her character wanted to buy some armor, and it's like, don't hold your whole bag. This is money. This is how you count it out, and that's how my character would play with hers.
Yeah,
What
like,
was your character's int, out of curiosity?
Oh, you did a squiggly. Fuck, was it like? It was a barbarian, but I ended up rolling high, so I think I had like a 12.
that's not bad for a barbarian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I was
smart,
actually
barbarian.
quite a bit smarter than
I was
this
just
little
curious,
6.
yeah.
You're smarter than your average villager, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's just real quick.
Yeah.
For our newer players and stuff, 10 is an average person's stat.
correct.
Yep.
Being
Yes.
at 9 doesn't mean you're like mentally handicapped. It just
No.
might mean you didn't graduate high school. You know basic knowledge and stuff or whatever, but
If
you're
if
not.
you
Yeah.
if you roll an 8, you might mistake a map of a completely different country as your home map. I mean,
Yeah. Every island is the island you grew up on.
now, Next question that I want to ask you guys, and I'll do a little bit of explanation for those who may not be familiar with the different ways, but there are different ways when you're making your character to decide your stats. You have standard array. I'm not going to go into a deep dive explanation on all of them because, one, I don't know all the numbers, but there's standard array, there's point buy, and then there's rolling the dice. Which one do you guys prefer, personally? On a player level or even a DM level?
I prefer rolling my stats. I like that, and then I can play my character off in different ways too. It's like, oh man, I got this one poor roll. Obviously, I'm going to put it into the bad stat. Now I got to play my character with that bad stat.
Fair.
I personally like point buy actually. I used to be a roll your stats kind of person. But then you have these rules like if it's 10 or lower, re-roll, and then you just get these uber powerful characters, and it's just like, I'm not too big on that. I think it's more balanced as a player. You can feel more sense of danger, and a DM, it's easier to balance as well when your characters all have the standard array or point buy because you have a little more agency on where you want to put things. If I want 2 8s, I can have 2 8s and then have 2 15s as well. That kind of thing.
I agree 100% with Renifero, especially as a DM. Like, if you're doing like a short campaign, like roll for stats. It's gonna
One
by
shot, oh, yeah.
short. I mean,
Yeah.
like one shots and
I
stuff.
have a power fantasy.
But when you're gonna be playing like a long game, I like point buy. You get the most customization. You're all balanced within each other. I'm in a game where we did roll stats. I rolled very mediocre, and 2 players rolled super good.
Another great point.
So, as a sorcerer, my best stat is charisma. There's 2 characters who dumped charisma with a 16, which is my highest stat.
Damn.
Wow.
I mean,
Damn.
dumped it. You know. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. I kind of what I did with this campaign, and I think what I will continue to do. I like the rolling out the stats because it does give you an interesting way to do builds. The 4d6, drop the 1, the lowest one. What I had them do is if, like, let's just say they have just shit rolls, like they defy all odds and they just get like 8s and 10s. At that point, I'm like, you can either keep your 8s and 10s or you can go with point buy system. I'm not big on the whole like min-maxing characters. I know some people enjoy doing that. They enjoy busting those characters and making them as efficient as they can be. But I'll be honest, my Tabaxi, for example, is multi-classed into rogue, and he only has a 14 dexterity because I thought it would be more fun to have him be more charismatic at first.
What's the other class?
That's fair.
The other class is Warlock, and he's had 2 chances to up that 18 to a 20, and he only very recently did it.
So I have a question for all of you.
Yeah.
What's that?
Do you guys like the moon?
Do you like them? So, for those that didn't watch on Sunday,
Oh, no.
Lady Bricker's character walked up to mine and Morticianor's character, 2 complete strangers because we just met, looked at us and went, "Do you like the moon?" And that was her opening line.
That's a great opening line.
That's a
It was
perfect
great.
opening line. It's
And
out of nowhere. What are you doing about this?
yeah. Unicorn, deciding on skills, that is dependent on your race and class. It will give you what you can pick on the character sheet. Again, for the first time or the 100th time, I would just say try to have fun with it. Go off what you think your character should be like, and you can't go wrong.
That is very, very true.
Speaking of which, though, does anybody have any skill that they always take?
Persuasion. If I ever get the
Persuade.
chance, persuasion.
Perception.
Oh, yeah.
Perception is a great one.
Insight.
That's
that?
not a bad one either.
Insight is my favorite.
Insight's
See,
great.
that's the thing. Like, in the last campaign that I ran, everybody had some sort of modifier for insight. My character, like, the people that they ran into would lie through their fucking teeth. The only person was the barbarian who was like, I want to insight check that. Her insight was not good. It was like a +1 at best. So the one person that was suspicious of everybody, I'm like, They're hard to read. You don't know what if they're lying or not. And nobody else ever thought, you know what? This shady person in this back alley might be lying. No, they just went with whatever he was saying and ran with it.
Well, that's because my sorcerer was so fucking cocky that he thought, if you fuck me, I'm just gonna kill you. Simply put.
That's fair.
And how
He
well was
had
that going?
insight. It went really well.
Yeah, again, he didn't die the entire campaign.
That's
He killed a lot of
incredible.
people who fucked with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I built that character though to not get killed. He had
Yeah.
shield, he had Misty Step. What else did he have? That he had some of the changeling features that would either charm or fear things. Like if anything got near him, he had ways to get out of it. Basically,
That's
That-
perfect.
I actually,
Banishment.
yes, that was another. Oh god, that pain in my ass. I wanted to ask you guys then, how do you feel about homebrew items? Because I made it, for example, Timolt's character. He essentially absorbed the essence of a dragon and gained a buff from that. So his character was able, since he was a changeling, I allowed it that he could change into a class bigger or smaller than what he normally was. The other person got advantage on any and all tinkering checks because they were a tinkerer, and I also gave them a really badass looking clawed dragon arm that they now had a climb speed with. How do you guys feel about homebrew? Do you like it? Do you try to kind of bring it back a little bit? Do you like the reward but possible punishment? I know Ronifero really likes that method, but
I do.
what are your guys' opinions?
Homebrew is totally fine as long as, again, don't break the game. You can easily do it, but
Yeah.
don't break the game.
Trust me, there's
Homebrew
plenty of
can be really
methods
cool.
to break the game within
don't
the
require-
game.
Yeah.
Deck of many
I have a-
things.
I have a friend of mine who absolutely loves D&D and will go on and on about, yeah, if you do this, this, and this. I'll be honest, I just totally zone out at some point when he keeps going. Because
Yeah.
it's a lot of little things you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you break the game.
My
I-
favorite homebrew item. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm definitely pro homebrew item.
Oh, yeah.
I get hesitant on homebrew sub or classes slash
That makes sense.
Yeah.
because they get very quickly get broken because a lot of times they don't follow the traditional language of 5e and interpretation gets fuzzy.
I feel like those are typically more meant and enjoyed during one-shots when you're just wanting to power play.
Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
thing's fun.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm talking serious campaign, like
Yeah.
one shots and stuff. Have fun.
Yeah, one-shots,
Do silly shit.
for those that are watching that haven't done a one-shot, I beg you to try a one-shot. You can have a lot of fun and fuck around a lot in a one-shot,
Mhm.
and it's fine because we expect one-shots to be chaos.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
still need to do a one shot. Both chances I had, I wasn't around.
So, with that being
Uh.
the case, then I'm gonna try to do some one-shots as we go into the year. You
Hey,
are
man.
now a player. So,
I will
congrats.
get you at my list.
My uni one shots are 1 to 3 session games.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rather than a long continuous
Yeah,
story.
like a regular campaign, like we said, could last anywhere between 6 sessions if people lose interest, which happens, to 3 years, depending on how you play. A one-shot, we typically try to finish in a night, and spoiler alert, it's never a one-shot. We usually end up running long and have to finish it another night.
Hence the 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very...
But, yeah, one shot, one story beat basically,
Yes.
and then done.
It's also a great chance to, especially if you are somebody who's play a different class, play a
Yeah.
different like subclass too. That it's like, oh, this looks like fun. I didn't want to do it in a normal campaign because it doesn't look like it'd be great, but let's give it a shot.
And
Yeah.
it's a
Way
good
to
way to dip your
learn.
toes in. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
that
about to say, it'll dip your toes in. It'll let you know if, do I like this whole rolling, waiting thing? I'll be honest, D&D is not for everybody.
No, it
Just
is
like
not.
anything else. So if you're not into it, that's fine. But I would say at least give it a shot.
Yeah, and you're not going to hurt our feelings if you're
Yeah.
not into it. Like, we just want everybody to have fun. That's all.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, there'll definitely be a lot more of this coming. So, until next time, everybody, peace out.
I believe that is just called Overkill.